Back to our top story again. President Trump still hospitalized at Walter Reed. We heard from the president himself less than an hour ago. The president saying that he is feeling better, but that the next couple of days will tell more. Fox 5's Jesse Turnor, she joins us now live from Washington with more. Hey, Jesse.
Good evening, Misha. We heard the exact same message really from his chief of staff, Mark Meadows, saying that some of the president's vital signs over the past 24 hours were actually really concerning and that these next 48 hours will be critical in terms of his care. And so, like we said, from President Trump and from Meadows, there was kind of this warning in a way that the president was on his way to recovery, but there still wasn't a clear path to that. But as doctors say, he is improving.
The president is doing very well.
After his first night at Walter Reed Medical Center, President Trump's doctors painted a positive picture of his condition.
The president's been fever-free for over 24 hours.
Navy Commander Dr. Sean Conley said he treated President Trump with the antiviral medication remdesivir and an experimental antibody drug.
As the president, I didn't want to hold anything back. If there was any possibility that it would add value to his care and expedite his return, I wanted to take it.
Conley said the president had a light cough, but never had difficulty breathing and doesn't need extra oxygen.
All indicators are that he'll remain off of oxygen going forward.
President Trump walked out of the White House Friday evening wearing a mask and giving a thumbs up to reporters. In a pre-taped interview, he said,
"I think I'm doing very well, but we're going to make sure that things work out."
Conley said the president will work from the hospital until the medical team decides it's okay for him to return to the White House.
Every day we're evaluating, does he need to be here?
Conley said if necessary, President Trump may need to stay at Walter Reed to finish the full 5-day course of remdesivir treatment. A growing list of Trump administration officials and Republican lawmakers have tested positive for COVID-19 since the president's diagnosis. And Dr. Conley did confirm today that the White House is leading contact tracing efforts. Misha?
You know, before we let you go, we've been hearing a lot about the timeline of President Trump's diagnosis. Can you talk to us a little bit more about the confusion there and what we know about those first hours when the president received his positive test?
Yeah, it sounds like that came down to his physician misspeaking. So at first he threw out that the president had now, it's been 72 hours since he's been tested. And then that really kind of threw everything about that New Jersey fundraiser up into the air. But he backtracked that, saying that he meant, well, this was just the third day. So moving forward, that means what we do know is that Hope Hicks tested positive for COVID-19. The president knew about that, still went to the New Jersey fundraiser and got tested after the fact. We're not really sure why there was a wait, though.
Interesting. A lot of still unanswered questions. We appreciate your coverage tonight. Thank you.